Hey, good morning, everyone. Coming at you live from SOAR Co-working today. My name is Eric Bunch, owner of NTP2 Photography. I'm joined here by Paula Blair. Good morning, Paula.
Hi, guys. So glad you're here with us this morning.
Absolutely. So Paula and I wanted to jump on here and just share some pretty valuable content. The world we live in today is just a lot different than we're used to. And so just wanted to jump on, say hi, hopefully share some valuable things. We've got a couple of things planned, just kind of an update of where LinkedIn Local North Tampa, what the update is, and then kind of where we're going. Before we do, just want to chat about like basically what we've been doing. Paula was SOAR Co-working, like just, give everyone an update of what's been going on in your world and, what the absence of LinkedIn Local North Tampa, has that affected you? Are you missing it? Like,
Well, I've got some time with all of you here in a little bit, and I'm going to dive into that a little deeper. But yes, I have been missing people. And I was so happy when I was able to return to SOAR after sheltering at home was lifted, and that I can actually see people, touch elbows with people. So yes, very happy for that.
yeah, it has been pretty nice to see people again. To see, kind of chest down.
Yes,
Because
absolutely,
we were so used to just seeing like this area of a person
absolutely.
on Zoom and Skype and Teams and all the different formats that we've been using to stay in touch. Now, LinkedIn Local North Tampa, as you know, we did monthly networking events. And we switched between mornings and evenings, and we were just starting to gain some traction. We were at our running on our fifth event, right?
Yes,
Yeah, we were getting to our fifth event. Everything was going good. We were having a good amount of attendance. We were having charity applications come in. We were getting sponsors, and then boom, this hit. And really, the struggle with this is LinkedIn Local was kind of started as human to human connection. So it just made it kind of difficult. Like, I don't even know what to say about that. Like, we were saying human to human connection, but it didn't make sense for us to jump on a Zoom meeting,
right,
because we were digital already.
right. So we kind of went subterranean for a while because we didn't expect to be away from y'all this long. So Eric had this idea to do something live about how you can still have human to human connections with people even through this digital age. And so we're going to dive into that. We've got some exciting things coming up for you.
Absolutely, and really, there's a lot of individuals in a scenario where, myself, like, I'm very fortunate. I've got a big family. I've got a lot of people at home, so there's really not like a dull moment in my
Never,
house.
never.
So there's never a dull moment. But the reason I wanted to do this is because I was talking to so many individuals that were here in Tampa that are by themselves. Maybe they just relocated for a job. Maybe they're taking care of a sick family member or an elder family member. And literally, they're doing 10 to 11 Zooms a day. And that's the most connection, but they can't go out, because they're trying to take care of this elder person or
Mm-hmm.
parent or sick, family member.
Right.
And so, we were just chatting, depression, like it
Mm-hmm.
was starting to set in. So I wanted to do this and just kind of share what we've been doing during this time because, I didn't even realize it, but my word for 2020 is adapt. It's adapting how you're doing business. It's adapting your services, adapting to your environment. Uh, I really think that there's so many things that could go along with the adapting process. So yeah, we went subterranean for a while. We were not doing anything, but we were still sending out content, emails. We were sending out posts, but some of the social media stuff is kind of hard because you handle the social media now. How many
It's
posts do you do, and it doesn't show any engagement.
right. Yeah.
So
I
it
think
like
people
feels
are-
like no one's seeing it.
Right. And I think to a certain extent, some people are kind of blind. They've put blinders on when it comes to digital content right now because they have so much of it in front of them. I know I personally filter a lot of the invitations out that I get because I don't have time to read through it all. And I want to focus on this.
Yeah, exactly.
Person to person.
Yeah, we need to focus on the person to person, but we obviously still need to be safe about it. There's definitely a scenario out there where we just need to kind of figure it out. And me, I'm immune compromised, so I'm type 1 diabetic. So really, when it was quarantine, I did not go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even go to the grocery store. My wife would go out, she would come home, and it's like sanitize yourself because it was the unknown. You don't know what's going to happen. And so I was only going out when I would get a job, and that didn't happen for about 10 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of sitting there, staring at the computer, waiting for something to happen. And I just kind of realized, I was like, I need to really put trust that the right things will happen. And it really has. Once the quarantine was lifted and we were able to go back out, I started hitting the ground running, going back out, and I'm in a marketing field. So really, I wasn't too concerned because when a business is shut down for essentially 3 months and they open again, what do they need to do? They need to share their message, and they need to start marketing. So for me and my profession, I knew that it would come back, but it doesn't mean it was easy to wait for it, but that's why I wanted to do this today, is just kind of share some content of what we've been doing to still human-to-human connection. And here at SOAR, we're able to still be socially distant and still meet with people, right?
Right, absolutely, easily, because we have rooms big enough for that.
Yeah, and you were the SOAR was only shut down for, really to the members, it wasn't shut down at all.
It was not, because we had essential people working from here during the sheltering period. And your wife is one of our hosts here, and she and I would come in off hours and clean when there was no one here. Lots of disinfecting going on.
That's the only place that I did go. I used to come here at night with her.
And help her, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was kind of like a date night because there's a lot going on at home. So.
Oh, let's go disinfect for a date. Doesn't that sound fun?
I mean, it was something. We had to get out and do something. So it allowed us to have adult conversations and, without a 4-year-old interrupting or 6-year-old saying, hey, what's for dinner? So, but yeah, that was the only place I was coming in here. But then once the quarantine was lifted, you made some pretty quick changes to the daily routine, and you're back to business.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Lots of way more bathroom cleaning than what I ever thought I would do in my whole life. Just a lot of sanitizing. Thankfully, we have not had one known COVID-19 case here at SOAR. But not to say it couldn't happen, because it certainly could. But we're very safe and careful here.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a lot of places that are not making the various changes to their protocol, and with all the cleaning you guys are doing here, and socially distant everyone. And the ironic part is you had just literally before this you had just expanded, so you were able to hold more people, but then it kind of went back because then you had to keep in mind the socially distant part.
Right.
So I mean, that was kind of like a little kick in the gut, but it hasn't stopped you guys.
It works. It's working.
And today, I just wanted to give a shout out. Today, it's meeting room number 3, right? So we can hold 8 people in here in a normal scenario.
Right.
And as long as it's all people that work together, you're around each other, you can come in and rent this room. And there's a TV. You can't see it, but it's just over that way. And then we've got the whiteboard right behind us. And there's a lot of really cool things going on here that makes it easy to still get work done. And I know my office is here as well. So I work out of SOAR too. So yeah.
Yep. Yep.
So that's kind of an update on what we've been doing. Really, we wanted to share some tips on networking and connecting. So, Paula, what have you found through this that has allowed you to continue networking? Because you and I met networking.
Is this my segment? You want to do it now?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Well, the first thing I discovered was the importance of people. I was missing networking. I was missing organized opportunities to meet new people. And I just really kind of had an epiphany while sheltering at home, in that most of my interactions with people were somewhat superficial. Were all business based and not at all too terribly personal. And so what I realized is the importance of people who are in front of me, instead of having to drive to an event or only engage when it was something organized. I recognized how many people in my neighborhood who were outside walking their dogs. Who out there has a dog? Raise your hand. I can't see you, but I know you're there. And I was always envious of Jeff, my husband, because he does 2/3 of the dog walking in the family, and he knows all these people in the neighborhood. And I'm like, how do you know them? How do you know them? How do you know them? They walk dogs, and they all talk to each other while they're out walking dogs. And so I started really just paying attention to my neighbors. I have had more deep conversations with my husband than perhaps I ever wanted to have. And he probably would say the same about me, but I just really started engaging more with people who were in front of my face. And so there is a human-centered approach to business. I did not talk business with any of these people, but everybody in the neighborhood, for one, well, probably because my car is a driving billboard. The name of my company is splattered across the back of it, along with the web address. And so they all kind of know what I do. So this was all focused on different kinds of conversations about dogs. And one might say, prior to COVID-19, that some of our networking conversations were kind of superficial, because we would ask questions like, how are you doing? How are you feeling? Or just plain old, how are you? And in that type of an environment, they are pretty light. Those are conversation light type of questions. But in COVID, when you're out dog walking and you ask those type of questions, you get answers. Mm-hmm. I'm feeling cut off. I'm sad. I miss my family. I wish there was more to do. I want to go to a movie. You actually get meaningful answers when asking those questions during this period of time. So, there are people who have blogged about this, and they call those, safe, light, superficial questions. But right now, if the person you're asking the question of, if their heart is burdened by something, don't be surprised if they answer you. Mm-hmm. And it's really kind of cool. But let's just pretend for a moment this is somebody that you know how they're feeling. You know how they are because you've already had that discussion. There's a list of great questions. First of all, I want to give credit for all of this to a blog titled the leadership freak. And if you follow LinkedIn Local North Tampa and LinkedIn at all, I do most of the posts there, and I post from the leadership freak all the time. He writes some brilliant blogs, and I enjoy them. I hope you enjoy them too. But one of them, if you want to get the content of this, you can Google it. How to stop asking, how are you, and create real conversations. So Eric and I are just going to kind of banter back and forth on this. And so these are some better questions suggested by the leadership freak. So Eric, what are you working on right now?
Ooh. Well, I'm working on creating more content for my business, and I'm also working on spending more time with my kids, going camping, and hopefully one day get a camper. That's kind of our goal.
Yeah. I don't want to go camping with you. But if you, is there anything I can do to help you with your content? Do you need anything from me?
Yeah, you could share the leadership website that you were just. I know you've told me about it before, but I would love to follow that. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. I will do that. I'll do that on LinkedIn Local North Tampa.
There we go.
On LinkedIn. So here's another question. What's next on your agenda? Today we are sitting here doing this live LinkedIn Local North Tampa presentation. Hope you're enjoying it. What are you doing? What's your next project?
My next project, oh gosh, I'm so the wrong person to ask what's next on my list, because on a daily basis I'll create a to-do list. I mean, this is just notes that I've made, but my to-do list looks like this on a daily basis. But I've learned to not write down everything, to mainly focus on limited number of things, and then things that I can accomplish within that day. But I need to update my content on my website and my social media, and just share some of the projects that I'm working on, because I'm often so busy I don't have a chance to share any of the cool stuff I've done.
Yeah.
So that's really like top of my list right now, is just kind of update everyone and my followers on what I have going on.
I remember that project you did with the airplane. It was like one of the coolest things I've ever seen, where you did, you filmed it over a really long period of time, right?
Yeah, we took pictures. We had 2 cameras. We took pictures every 5 minutes for 18 months.
Yeah.
So combined, both cameras, we had 160,000 images.
That was awesome. And then they played them, like fast forward to see progress. It was fantastic.
Yeah, you could watch the whole 18 months, and I mean, it was pretty long. It was a couple of hours. But once I shortened it down, then it was about 10 to 20 minutes. You could see literally pulling the plane in to when they pulled it out, what they had done to it.
Cool.
Yeah, it was pretty neat.
So think COVID-19 when you answer this question.
Okay.
And it is pretty broad, so maybe an answer will come to mind. I'm putting you on the spot. What's working for you right now?
Ooh, what's working for me? Gosh, I mean, I always have to just trust in like the higher power that I'm doing the right thing, and on a daily basis I'm tested. I'm tested, and I think an individual's trying to knock me off my game. A spiritual individual's trying to mess me up, but I always try to put that trust in what I'm doing, and it's really working for me, because during, as I mentioned earlier, during that 10 weeks of not really having any work, and having people canceling jobs, it was pretty scary, and I sat on the computer for probably like a week or two, and just, I mean, literally, like, time I wake up to go to bed, it was just staring at the computer, like, reading the updates and waiting for something to happen. And finally went, I need to make the most of my time. So,
yeah.
Like many others, we worked on a lot of projects in the house, and I started spending time with the kids and doing things, and tried to eat dinner as a family, and I just had to trust that good things were going to come from making those right choices, and it's really, things are going really well. I'm getting scheduled, I'm getting calls.
That's awesome.
So, I mean, it could always be worse. I always tell people that it could always be worse.
Right. Yes, it could, but it is not.
No,
it
it's
is
not.
Worse.
Nope.
It is not worse. So, just to give you kind of a list, you can jot these questions down if you want, or go out to LinkedIn Local North Tampa and find the blog.
And we'll put these questions in the comments of this video as well.
Okay, yeah. So, what is new in your life? That's a fabulous question. And it opens the doors so that you can do what's called the plussing, or you can be able to add to the conversation from what's new in your life. What are you looking forward to? Lots of answers there, right? We cannot wait to go on a vacation somewhere where it's cooler. And just something that it's just more today specific is, what are you wanting to get done today? I have a list because we were off yesterday because it was Labor Day. So I have a lot of things to get done today. So there are just a couple other things that you might consider asking. This is kind of fun. What was your most embarrassing moment? That's a fabulous question. If you want to get a lighthearted conversation going with someone. And then what was your proudest moment? People are hesitant to talk about what successes they've had and what they've done well, and that'll open the door for them to be able to do that. And so those are my ideas. I hope something spoke to you on how you can connect more with the people in your line of sight. This is line of sight connection. And also these questions are great for digital one-to-ones too. The one-to-one is not dead, people.
No, it's not.
You can go to lunch with somebody now. If you need a place to meet with somebody, you can come here to SOAR. So anyway, remember that. The one-to-one is not dead.
Yeah, have you asked some of these questions when you're doing like virtual one-to-ones?
I haven't done any virtual one-to-ones. I have gone to lunch with people because I love to eat.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, you've been asking these questions, and are they like blown away? Like it's different than the, oh, how are you doing? Hey, is everything going all right? That kind of conversation.
No one has said anything. I'm getting some great answers though.
That's awesome.
I'm getting some great answers that will, just in life, I think most of us, as we meet people and we have conversations, we think, gosh, I wonder how I can help them. And the answers to these questions uncover some things that you might be able to do for them.
That's great. So now we're going to go ahead and we want to share about our sponsors. And before I jump over to Kristen to give us an update on the charities, we have a charity application which is on our website, linkedinlocalnorthtampa.com. And every meeting that we would do, and I just was reminded, we had some crazy questions lined up for our next event. Which we had to postpone. So we're going to make sure to do that. Different questions to transform that conversation.
Yep.
But when we do our monthly event, we have a ticket registration. It's like $15, pretty minimal cost. But we would take all those ticket sales and we would donate that to the charity of choice. And we had a really, really smooth operating system that they would go in, submit the application. The committee, we would all get together and discuss it and find out more information, and we would try to spread the love amongst the community. And we heard, and then part of that was they got to come to the meeting and then do a presentation to all the attendees. And really, you're spending $10 or $15, and we would normally have food. or drink, and you'd hear about a local charity that you're helping, and you got to network and make connections. I mean, it was really a win-win all the way around. But that was the process. So what we did is we've got Kristen, and she checked in with some of the charities to find out how they're doing, because really during this time, a lot of people were just stopping their spending. And so nonprofits, I think, were hit really, really hard.
I think so, yes, they were.
Because any of the normal monthly monetary, donations that were going into these nonprofits stopped. I mean, rightfully so. I mean, someone doesn't know if they're going to have a job in a month, whether they're going to be furloughed or laid off or terminated, whatever the case was. So, nonprofits were hit pretty hard. So let's switch over to Kristen and hear how they're doing. Did you want to say anything about Kristen? I know that's your girl right there.
I do. I want to introduce her, and she sent me this great bio. Wonderful bio. Not going to read it because I have had a personal experience with the Vada group. It was about a year ago. I had a huge decision I needed to make, and that was I going to renew the lease on the facility where SOAR is currently housed, or was I going to look for a new place? Exactly. What was I going to do? Those are big financial decisions, big business decisions. And so I knew Kristen from networking, and I talked to her, and she has a gal on her team, and her name is Sarah Sweeney. And so I hired them for 2 services, for business coaching and for strategic consulting. And oh my heavens, it was the best decision I've ever made. And I am a do-it-yourself girl. I don't usually go to other people for this kind of stuff. But I went to them, and the results were great. They were professional. They were thorough. They coached me without leading me, and I recommend them. And, the Vada Group also puts on some fabulous teachings. If you go out to probably thevadagroup.com, is that where it's at? Anyway, she does conferences, and they're wonderful, but man, is the personal coaching fantastic. Just going to say that. And so that's enough to say about Ms. Kristen and the Vada Group, and please play her.
All right, now we're going to switch to Kristen.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Kristen Vada with the Vada Group. I am proud to be on the board of directors, the philanthropy chair, and a gold sponsor for LinkedIn Local North Tampa. As you have heard, nothing puts a damper on connecting humans in real life like a pandemic. So one of the things that we would do, and one of the reasons why I love LinkedIn Local North Tampa, is the ticket sales from the events when we were meeting in person. All of that money, minus whatever we would need to cover costs of the event itself, that money gets donated directly to the charity of the month. Because of sponsors, it was always at least ticket sales, and often we would chip in more because we were so inspired by the difference that these local charities and these nonprofits were making in our own community. And we would present them with a check like this, and then later on give them one that's actual money. But one of the things that we wanted to do now is update you on the past recipients. Since the pandemic, it has impacted not only networking and how we connect, but also for these nonprofits, they've had to pivot and get creative in how the community can get involved. So we are happy to share a little bit about the past recipients and these the charities that we've already highlighted from LinkedIn Local North Tampa. So here's a little bit more about what they're dealing with right now and how you can help.
Hello, LinkedIn Local North Tampa. My name's Nancy Lane, and I'm with Project Transition USA. Thank you so much for supporting our mission. When I got on LinkedIn 14 years ago, I sure had no idea that I would be training our military to use it. Life sure leads you in some interesting directions, doesn't it? And I know today's meeting is about how to network virtually. And so we did 90 LinkedIn workshops on MacDill Air Force Base before being stopped by COVID after our February workshop. But you know what? The silver lining is it forced us to create an online LinkedIn course. And so, I've been wanting to do that for years. So there's definitely some good things that have come of this. That's definitely one, because we've helped hundreds more people this way than we would have just in person. So I invite you all to join our group on LinkedIn. It's called Project Transition USA. And once you're a member, you can have access to that course. We would be happy to share it with you. It's specifically created to help you find your next mission, your next job. If that is something that you're interested in doing, or just learning how to use LinkedIn at a really advanced level, please take advantage of this. We would be so happy to share it with you. And I'll look forward to seeing you all at our virtual meeting. Bye for now.
Hi, LinkedIn local North Tampa friends. My name is Bria Gilmore and I'm representing Equip Her. Thank you so much for all of your support earlier this year as we headed into the COVID-19 season, but we are so thrilled and excited because we will be launching our 2020-2021 program season with our mentees in just a couple of weeks. We wanted to just communicate some things that you can still connect with us and be a part of as we continue to connect and reach local high school girls, sharpening their life skills and character development. And you can do that by choosing to be a corporate sponsor. And so if you would be interested in learning more, that is one of our greatest needs, sponsoring our monthly gatherings. This takes care of food, venue costs, and any associated costs with making the day happen so that each of our girls can have an incredible experience without the worry or weight of a financial burden. And so if you feel that this is an area that you would be interested in connecting with and being a part of, we would love to get you more information. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hello, LinkedIn local of North Tampa. Thank you very much for the opportunity to address you again. I'm Brian Olson of A Door of Hope. As you might recall from my January visit, A Door of Hope is an agency that's charged by the state to recruit, train, license, and support foster parents. The need in this part of the state is great. It's vast. Tampa Bay area holds the unfortunate distinction of being the area with the highest demand for foster children in all of Florida. 7 children per day come out of this geography and enter into foster care. So what A Door of Hope does is find safe and loving homes for these kids to take them through the foster experience. Because of COVID-19 and the whole environment, our mainstay of people that we get parents from and where we recruit from are churches. And churches don't meet. They haven't met for 6 months. So we've had to go to online recruiting. And I must say, using social media, we've actually filled our pipeline beyond expectation. One of the other things that's affected us in this Corona environment is we don't get to hold our annual fall gala. 400 people in a room just is not a good idea right now, even if it's in November. So we've changed our plans, and now we're holding little mini galas. We've gone out to our supporters and our donors, and we're addressing this issue by people signing up to have dinner parties, 6 or 8 people in their home. We provide them with a video. We provide them with foster parents, and they're going to tell their story there and a little bit about what it's like in an effort to do fundraising on a different scale, smaller obviously coming out of each and every home. But if we have enough homes, we feel we'll come close to meeting our goal. So thank you for your support, and appreciate the opportunity to address you.
Hi, it's Kristen again. Technology magic. I'm in a different outfit. I wanted to thank, it was great to hear directly from Nancy, Bria, Brian about ways that we can help. Beth Ross in Blanket Tampa Bay, she was our charity of the month in December last year, and we had a great holiday party and got to hear about all the ways that she helps the homeless in our community and really serves them and treats them with dignity. And as we are trying to navigate what works best for us, our businesses, our families now. Maybe before we were more willing and able to donate funds to charities like this, but now, Blanket Tampa Bay is always collecting items that they can give to the homeless. That might be something that's easier for you to do now, or getting more involved on social media, sharing posts, joining the group for Project Transition USA. Maybe it makes a lot of sense to be able to volunteer as a mentor, be a corporate sponsor for Equip Her. Obviously, monetary donations, if that's something that you're able to do. I know a lot of businesses have been struggling, and depending on the industry and depending on what's going on, a lot of businesses are busier than ever. So some are really looking for, how do I want to give back? And by spreading and sharing that awareness on social media, you actually can be that connector, which is, we want to connect humans in real life with LinkedIn Local North Tampa, but to actually make those connections with the local charities is also something that we take a lot of pride in. So if you actually know of any charities that want to be upcoming charities of the month for our events, once we start meeting again, the next one in line that we already voted on is 21 and Change, and we really are excited to be able to highlight them whenever we're able to, as soon as we're able to. And then after that, if you know people and charities that it would be great for them to not only get the 10 minutes in front of everyone, or 8 minutes in front of everyone, but it ended up being a few $100s because of the ticket sales. So on our website, it's LinkedInLocalNorthTampa.com, which is a mouthful. It's also our hashtag. LinkedInLocalNorthTampa.com. There's a tab for the charities. You can fill out the application there, and that's when it's my job as philanthropy chair to bring it all back to the rest of the committee, and they vote on the next charity of the month. So thank you everyone. Back to you, Eric and Paula.
All right, welcome back, everyone. Eric Bunch and Paula Blair here, just in case you're just joining us. So that was our charity chair, Kristen, with an update on the charities. Now, we couldn't reach every single charity that we've worked with. Some of them were hit pretty heavily, so some were available to do this video, some were not. But our heart's with them. We still want to support them as much as possible, because the things that they're doing on a daily basis are absolutely phenomenal. And really, we wanted to make sure we gave a shout out to our sponsors, because our sponsors is what made these events possible, because there were a lot of costs that were associated with starting this up. Like I said, we were just getting some traction. We had made it 4 successful events, and we were preparing for our 5th and our 6th, and we were doing a lot of planning, but we wouldn't be able to do this without the sponsors. So, Paul, you want to list out our sponsors?
I'd love
give them
to.
a quick
Yeah.
shout out? That'd
Yes.
be great.
We have a platinum level sponsorship available. And consider this for 2021, folks. We will be live and together again in 2021. And the platinum level all the sponsor levels will be open again next year. So we currently have 2 gold sponsors, the Vada Group, Kristen Vada, and Eric Bunch of NTP2 Photography. They both sponsor us at the gold level. And then there's a silver level sponsorship, and Georgiana Strickland with Busy Bee Marketing is a sponsor, as well as Terry Scarcelli, an accountant and an enrolled agent, and myself and Sora Co-working. We are also gold sponsors. So I encourage you to get involved now in preparation for next year.
Absolutely, and all the information on the sponsors is listed on the website, LinkedInLocalNorthTampa.com, under sponsors. That's got links to everyone's website, and you can follow what they're doing. But really, we couldn't do this without without those individuals that really invested in this movement, if you will, of LinkedIn Local. So really, this wasn't even planned. It's not even on our agenda, but why don't you take a couple of minutes and let's just talk about how LinkedIn Local North Tampa got started. I mean, SOAR is located in North Tampa, versus the rest of us on the board are really traveling. But it was because of you and your reluctancy to go to South Tampa during rush hour that you said, hey, this is what I want to do.
Yes. A friend of mine, John Kachurik, is heavily involved in LinkedIn Local Tampa. And I was seeing all kinds of great LinkedIn Local Tampa events that were happening. And, SOAR is located in New Tampa. So we're up here in the northeastern suburbs. And all of the LinkedIn Local Tampa events were downtown or in South Tampa. The timing of those were either usually 8:30 in the morning or 5:30 in the evening. And I was sitting all the way up here in New Tampa going, there is no way in the world I'm going to drive that direction at that time of day during rush hour. And so I just got to thinking about, there is no reason that we can't have our own LinkedIn Local in the North Tampa area. And so we started it.
Yeah. We did. There were 5 of us that sat down to talk about the idea, and the majority of them are still on the board today. Really, one. So as the committee, we do a committee meeting with LinkedIn Local North Tampa on top of the planning and the actual events themselves. So there's a lot going on behind the scenes. And I remember one committee meeting, Paula wanted us to share what brought us to LinkedIn Local North Tampa. And the consensus was the majority of them, well, Paula told us that she needs our help. So that was a majority of them.
Can you see my coffee cup?
It was,
says?
Yeah.
Hang on, let me get it there. Boss babe.
Yeah. So that's really what it came down to is I'm going to follow whatever Paula says. She said I should do this, and so therefore I'm doing it.
Yes.
So that's how it got started. And I've been associated with LinkedIn Local Tampa from the very beginning, and now I'm part of the committee there as well. And then there's also the LinkedIn Local Tampa Bay, which they're based in Pinellas and Hillsborough, Pasco, and they're doing a lot of virtual events. So before we get into talking about the future of what LinkedIn Local North Tampa holds, I wanted to share a list that I put together. So when the quarantine started, I put together a list of tips on virtual working, really because a lot of people were sent home, jump on Zoom, go digital. So I put together this list because a lot of people just didn't know how to do this. They didn't know how to set up their office. They didn't know how to either use the technology. So I was doing free coaching calls during the quarantine, just telling people, hey, if you have a question about how to do this virtual working, let's jump on a coaching call real quick for 30 minutes. I did this totally free of charge. And I had a lot of really great things happen from that. I was able to help some individuals kind of build up themselves, their confidence. Really in what I do, like I didn't realize I'd be a coach when I said I'm going to be a photographer and videographer. But really, I have to like help people overcome these challenges. I myself struggle with them just like the average person. To be in front of the camera and be recorded and have your picture taken, like it's not easy. So, to just give people this confidence. So let's go down to tip number 1 was reduce distractions. So when working virtually, having the video on, there's a lot of things happening around you. So reducing those distractions were really critical, just to make sure that you were giving your full attention. So some of those distractions are like a pet walking in front of the camera, or maybe something going on behind. I've got stories after stories of calls, video calls, where you could hear someone cooking in the background, or someone's on a phone call behind. So, just you don't want to reduce as many distractions as possible. So tip number 2, which was really important, is test your audio. I cannot tell you how many times I have set up for a video shoot and thought the audio is spot on and went for it, and then realized, oh, it's not working the way I thought. So, you definitely want to test your audio out. Any of these programs that you're using, Google, Zoom, Teams, they all have a record function. Before you jump on a call with someone, just go in there a couple minutes early and just hit record and just talk and then play it back. It doesn't take a whole lot, and that's what we did today. We tested it just to make sure that everything sounded good. So testing your audio is crucial, because you don't want to get in there and just a moving mouth and someone's going, yeah, I can't hear you. And I was on a call the other day where it literally sounded like I was on there for an hour and a half, and it literally sounded like someone was vacuuming the whole time. And I just couldn't contain myself anymore. I said, hey, is the house clean? And they go, what are you talking about? And like the whole group, it said, we all said, it sounds like someone's vacuuming. And she goes, no, I swear, no one, like there's no noise in the room that I'm in. But it was just some setting on the computer that created this hum, and it happened the entire, like, I was like, wow, that house is going to be super clean.
Yeah.
So yeah, test your audio. Another really important tip number 3 is use the mute option and the stop video option. Those are critical, because even though it may sound quiet where you're at, there may be some noise happening that is relaying through the microphone. And so, just mute yourself. And the other thing behind that is know when you're muted, because I can't tell you the calls I've been on and people think they're muted, and they're just swearing about something that's happening in their life in the background, or they're making bodily function noises, and they're going, oops. So really know when you're muted. All these programs, it shows you if you're muted or not. So that's really important to do. So tip number 4, virtual backgrounds. So I know the virtual background option on all of these programs is really fun to play with during happy hours and things like that. But it's a really good way to, once again, going back to tip number 1, to reduce distractions. If there's a lot happening behind you, it's a good thing to use a virtual background, but you want to take a look at what it looks like. And what I mean by that is if the lighting is not good in the camera, then you may not want to use a virtual background, because if the background looks sharper than you do, then that's a distraction to some, because they're more focused on the background than on you that's speaking. And they have the virtual backgrounds, which are a video clip. So there's some really cool ways to incorporate your business, your contact info, and really what you're passionate about within your virtual background, but you don't want it to be too busy. So a lot of these things are pretty easy to do. So tip number 5, make your face visible. This is really important to pick the right camera angle and make sure that you can be seen versus just hand holding the phone or device all over the place, or if you're carrying it around while you're talking, that's going to be really distracting to other individuals that you're on the call with. And I know I'm guilty of it too. Like, I've got to get a refill of coffee or water. It happens, but that's why you can mute your audio and turn the video off for a short period of time, because then that keeps people from seeing what you're doing, and they know that you're paying attention.
Load your headshot. Yeah,
load your headshot in there as well to make sure. Now this is just like a public service announcement. So if you're on Zoom calls or other calls and you take a screenshot of yourself just paying attention into the camera and then you set that as your icon, like me as a photographer and video, like I know you're not there. I can tell you're not moving. So I'm sure others eventually will be able to tell that you're not moving, you're not doing anything. So I would not suggest doing that, because then it's really showing that you're not paying attention. So number 6 is be prepared. So really you want to make sure ahead of time that you test out your audio, you have your content, you have your notes in front of you, you test out the video, and you want to make sure that you do your research beforehand, just because, you know, if you're on a call with a client and they ask you a question, and you say, oh, hang on, that's in my office. And then all of a sudden the video is running with you to the office to grab something.
They get seasick.
Yeah, absolutely. So tip number 7, noises in the background. So you want to be mindful of that. So, you know, really kids and pets and different cell phones and dinging. It may be a normal everyday noise to you, but it could be pretty distracting to others that are on the phone call. I mean, how many calls have you been on in different meetings and someone has a computer mail notification going off like every couple of minutes? And
Right.
Ba-doop, ba-doop, and it just keeps playing every couple of minutes. After a while, it becomes really, really distracting. So you want to just be mindful of that. And you know, we're all working from home. You know, some of us are working from home still, and so we know that the kids are around. I remember I had a client call me, or a possible client, I guess, more of just a person on the community that had met with me, and he called me on a Sunday, and he said, "Hey, can you chat?" And I said, "Well, I'm with my family, so we're heading to the park. You know, so if you want to chat, I can chat now, but just, you know, this is what I'm doing."
Yeah.
He goes, "Yeah, let's chat." So he's talking to me about something, and he kept going, "You know, I can hear kids in the background." I said, "Well, yeah, I'm with my family. I let
Sunday.
you know that ahead of time.
Yes.
That I'm with my family, and you chose to continue."
Yes.
And he kept saying it through the conversation, and I kept having to remind him, you know, I've told you, like, I'm with my family.
Mm-hmm.
So just be mindful of that.
Right.
As far as how to set up your video camera, you want to look for bright walls. So you don't want to go for a real dark, dingy area of the house. You want to look for something bright. Bright walls is really going to be really inviting and really pleasant to look at as far as the video. You're just going to make sure the quality is really good. Because I talk to so many people that say, "I got to get a new camera. Mine's no good." You know, really, I can take whatever camera and the right amount of light, and we can make it look really, really good.
Interesting.
So it's always about the light. It's not necessarily about the technology of the camera. It's just the lighting.
I like this light you've got here because I think I look like I'm about 35.
Oh, there we go.
I'm liking it. So
Yeah,
I'm just going to carry
light-
it around with me wherever I go and shine it on my face.
That's right. Yeah, things like that, like simple LED ring lights, you know, that you can purchase online. You know, they're you know, fairly minimal cost. You know, someone says, "I'm going to buy a new camera." Well, why don't you try this $30 light first? That makes
Yes.
more sense to me instead of spending $100+.
Yeah.
And so that's just a rant that I will get on a regular basis, but which leads into tip number 9, which is find the light. As a photographer, basically that's what we're trained to do, is to find the right light. And then if we can't find it, then you place artificial light to you know, paint that scenario that you want to be in. So like in here in SOAR, we've got this, you know, beautiful color in the wall and the lighting in here, but for video, it's just a little bit dark because the cameras don't react the way our eyes do. So we just had to add some artificial light in here. You know, it's casting a little bit of shadow, but it's okay. But really, you want to find the light, and if you can't find it, then, you know, buy something and add the light. And if you are recording videos during the day, just remember, you know, if they say, "Oh, I'm going to set my desk up so I'm you know, the light is shining through the window." Okay, that's fine. Just be mindful that when you do something in the evening time or when time changes, normally you record all your videos at 6 o'clock. Well, when time changes in a couple of months, just be aware of that you may have to switch up your time frame because you can't find the light at night when there's nothing coming through the window. And then rule number 10 is record for content. A lot of these things that we're doing are pretty valuable pieces of information, so it wouldn't be bad to just record some of these and share this out there. A lot of digital marketing sites, they say content is king, and really it is. We've got content at our fingertips. If we don't know how to do something, we're searching it on Google. And don't you think you want to have content around your product or service that's out there and available for individuals to find? That's another conversation I have on a daily basis about, uploading the videos that you have and making them available to your community and to your network, because you never know what someone's going to search for. So that was pretty much my top 10 working virtual tips. Those are available on my social media at NTP2 Photography. And I've also created another service, which is called the Video Planning Service, or Video Planning Worksheet, which it's about a 4-page PDF document that basically all I did was talked about the why, when, how of video, and providing this to someone that they can purchase. I need to finish it. I started it during quarantine, so I need to finish it.
We need to quarantine.
Yeah, I need to quarantine me again so I can finish it. But there was like 40. I just wrote down every type of video that you could do as a business owner.
Interesting.
And I got to 40, a list of 40 different videos that you can do. And I'm going to go ahead and give away one of those right now. The most powerful video that you can do as a professional for your product or service is a client testimonial. Now, I always get a lot of people that say, hey, I need you to record a client testimonial for me. Okay, I can do that, but it's going to be intimidating if I get involved. Not because of the production level, but because it's going to be after the fact. We all have these cell phones, basically mini computers. After you provide a product or service and someone is over the moon happy, all you have to do is just, hey, can I just get like 10 seconds about what you thought about today?
Of course, Eric.
And it's just really easy because they're in that high moment of that product or service. Now, the only tip I'll give you is don't film it like this, film it like this. Just flip the camera over sideways and film that. And then as long as you're close proximity to someone, the audio is going to come through just fine. That's really, really powerful stuff that you can do. And that's the easiest that you can do for your business or your service that you provide.
I have a question about flipping it horizontal.
Yeah.
Does it make any difference does the lens have to be on the top? Or what if you flip it the wrong direction?
Oh, I didn't think of that. But, yeah, theoretically you'd want to, even if you flipped it here, you're still going to see what it looks like. So you're going to position it in the right angle. Okay. People don't want to be
just
filmed
curious.
From down low, shooting up their nose. So,
your nose.
You always want to lift it up a little bit higher, and then it's, very slimming.
The older you get, the higher it is, the better it is. I'm just saying.
Yeah, the higher it gets. So that's a little bit about what my tips for today. So now we're going to get into the future of LinkedIn Local North Tampa, and we would love to hear some comments on this video or on social media about what we can do for you guys. We've got a lot of ideas of how we can continue doing this, but really we wanted to hear from you guys. So I went through and I was looking through some of the networking I've been doing, and I wrote down just a brief list. There's virtual networking sites, which is like virtual one-to-ones, and then they're doing speed networking through like different platforms, through like breakout rooms, Zoom, and
like speed dating.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
Yeah, and then there's also the happy hour calls. Although I think some of us are, we're about over the happy hour call. Personally, I kind of feel like I am. Like, the happy hour things. I'm like, let's go meet in a parking lot, and we'll just stay 6 feet apart. Like
take your lawn chair.
Yeah, that.
We'll be happy there.
I did that on Sunday. We did that on Sunday. We finally said, all right, we just need to be around each other. I'm not going to come up. We're just going to stay spaced apart, and it's going to go very well. So we definitely want to hear from you guys as far as what you'd like to see us do. If you think that what we did today was valuable, then make sure to let us know, because we can continue to do these types of videos. And then we've been planning this for a little bit, but we do have some other committee members that I'm sure could make themselves available to do this.
You have great things to add too.
Absolutely. Kristen Vada, she's got a ton of content that she could share on this topic. And then we've got some other committee members that could absolutely, I'm sure they'd love to share what they've been doing during this time.
Yeah. Something that we can promise you about 2021 is that we will be meeting live at some point, hopefully sooner rather than later. It will be a happy hour. It is going to be fun. And so get geared up for it. And Eric is totally correct. Please add in comments on LinkedIn Local North Tampa on the LinkedIn site on this video, because you could be watching it later. So put in comments there what you would like to see, what questions you have, what we're not doing that you would like.
Absolutely. So we'll hopefully be coming back live and have the same format as before with the charities. We'll be doing that early 2021.
Giving money away, we love that.
Oh yeah, that's the best part.
Yes.
And making those connections. I mean, I can't. There's so many times where I've gone and one person has met another that is going to be. They say, this was worth it. Like, I've been trying for a month to meet this kind of individual.
Right.
And it happened tonight. So there's a lot of really good things that will happen from that. So again, my name is Eric Bunch. I'm one of the committee members, and then we're joined by
Paula Blair.
Paula, our founder of LinkedIn Local North Tampa. So thank you so much for joining us. And if you watch the playback, feel free to put in the comments below what you'd like to see us do in the future, and then just let us know that you're here.
Peace out.